Continuing our countdown of the skinny celebs who've produced a bumper crop of headlines this year, at 8th place is Hollywood Yummy Mummy Supreme, Nicole Richie. Originally known for her famous friend and her famous dad, the claim to fame that Nicole made all her own was her ever-shrinking frame.
Nicole Richie became really the first poster girl for the extreme weight loss brigade. And the pictures were truly shocking. She was one of the most famous people in America. She had a hit TV show. Everything should have been great. But there was something making her very unhappy. And it manifested itself with her in this extreme weight loss.
But from the skin and bones pictures of a few years ago, Nicole seemed to have taken herself in hand. She met and settled down with Good Charlotte frontman Joel Madden. And the news that she was expecting her first baby saw her putting on some much-needed weight.
She had so many compliments and so much good press written about her body when she was pregnant. She never looked better.
Baby daughter Harlow was born in January 2008, and only a couple of weeks later, Nicole was snapped out and about with not an ounce of mummy fat remaining. Then, a month after Harlow's first birthday, the pair announced that Nicole was pregnant again. Once again, the paparazzi pics showed an expectant Nicole blooming with health. And once again, the world waited to see if her waistline would snap right back for a second time.
She's now had baby number 2, and of course we want to know what's her weight loss secrets, how does she look, is she still going to be skinny?
And Nicole watchers weren't disappointed. She stepped out looking her former svelte self just a fortnight after the birth of new son Sparrow in September 2009. Her 5'1" and weighing a minuscule 98 pounds, Nicole's BMI of 18.5 just squeaks into the healthy range. Our continued fascination with the mini-mum's ability to apparently lose all her baby weight in the blink of an eye means her ranking is assured, at least for now. But the example of Nicole and other Hollywood micro-mums sets an unattainable goal for ordinary women.
Everything written about, you know, so-and-so getting into her jeans after a baby. It's putting huge pressure on women to adhere to something which in the vast majority of cases is unrealistic. Depending on your body type, you will lose weight after pregnancy at different rates. For most women, it's a struggle. You have to contend with the tiredness, you have to contend with a whole new life and taking care of that life, which actually should be the main focus. No, instead we're told, are you back in your jeans yet? Because clearly that's more important than, you know, sustaining a new life.
That's if the super skinny can create a new life in the first place.
The female sex hormone estrogen is significantly reduced in people who are underweight, who have a low BMI. The body knows that when you get to below a certain weight, you're actually not healthy enough to be having a child. So what it does is it stops you ovulating.
If you talk to fertility doctors, they tell you, you know, you mustn't get your weight too low, you mustn't over-exercise because you won't be able to get pregnant. And yet you've got somebody like Nicole Richie, who's about the size of a twiglet, and she's popping them out like frozen peas, isn't she? I mean, how is this possible?
The difference between a lot of these celebrities and, say, models who drop their weight even further is that the celebrities, if you look at across the range of BMIs, tend to have a BMI that's very much the low end of normal, so round about 18. We'd say a normal BMI would be about 18.5 to 25. When you start dropping to less than that, so less than sort of 17.5, you're then starting to look at significant impacts in terms of effects on the reproductive system, and people will become less fertile.
Fortunately for Nicole, she was able to conceive and give birth to 2 healthy babies before returning to her impossibly skinny form. Next up, Mischa Barton joins our list of super skinny celebs thanks to her yo-yoing body shape. The golden girl of the OC comes in at number 7 in our top 10 of the most talked about skinniest celebrities of the year. Another LA starlet who spent her teenage years amidst the flashlights and zoom lenses of the ever-present Paps, we are intrigued to know where the real Mischa ends and her on-screen persona begins.
The OC is really when she burst onto the stage around the world. She was a kind of really rich socialite, always perfectly turned out. And I think that's when we got really a bit confused about what she was like off-screen.
Mischa's character had, a few drug problems and a lot of teenage angst issues, and it's almost like she mirrored that in real life. When she left, she had a bit of a kickback, rebellious stage. I can't imagine what it's like to be under that scrutiny. Maybe you would just think, well, I'm sick of playing California Golden Girl. I'm going to become a bit darker.
And as time passed after the final episode of The OC was aired, with the years, a few more womanly curves naturally appeared.
Unfortunately for Mischa, she's a classic pear shape. Now, there were several pictures taken of Mischa Barton's cellulite, and Mischa claimed they were airbrushed to make her look much worse. And I don't think Mischa actually took that very well, because what we saw after those pictures emerged was very much a spiraling yo-yo weight situation. It was insane. 1 week to the next, she appeared to have gained and lost a stone.
I think Mischa Barton is just trying to find herself. She's got the time on her hands, she's got the money in the bank, she's got a load of people around her that are encouraging her to have a good time, so she's partying hard and experimenting.
Unfortunately, this lifestyle led to Mischa being arrested for DUI and drug possession, followed by the stints in rehab, all part of a Hollywood starlet's resume these days. Added to this, Mischa has had her fair share of man trouble and heartbreak. Last year, she found love with Kooks lead singer Luke Pritchard, but the pair split after 6 months, blaming the strain of a long-distance relationship. Mischa hit the party circuit with dramatic results.
We saw her looking very bloated and puffy around the time she was opening up a sale at Harrods. She looked worryingly bad.
At her heaviest this year, it's estimated Mischa clocked in at 150 pounds. At her lightest, 120. No surprise that press coverage has majored on her yo-yoing weight, which at times is thought to have given her a BMI of just 17.7, worryingly and unhealthily low.
A while ago, she was bloated, looking really unhealthy, looking completely zoned out, and then got taken off to a psychiatric unit, which she then blamed on her wisdom teeth, as you do in Hollywood. It's like going to rehab for exhaustion.
Mischa's clearly a very troubled girl, and everyone saw it as a big cry for help. But fingers crossed she can pull some sort of career back from the dead.
It's not looking good so far. Her comeback role in The Beautiful Life looked decidedly ugly when the show was canned after only 2 episodes. Like Mischa, many of us find it tricky to get the balance right when it comes to food and feelings. While some of us overeat to fill the void, others limit their intake to minute portions.
People have an emotional relationship with food, and what that means is that somebody says something negative about them, and they will then often turn to food for comfort. The issue then is, obviously, there are tremendous feelings of guilt, and then they have to try and get back in control, and that's when, again, they use these much more extreme methods of dieting.
Now to an A-list celebrity who's made it into our countdown at number 6 due to huge media speculation about her weight loss over the last 12 months. Scarlett Johansson, the award-winning actress, weighs around 111 pounds and has a BMI of approximately 18. The stunning 24-year-old, who's been in the movie business from an early age, has a figure that has led fashion houses to shower her with endorsements.
You know, she's slim, and yet she has big boobs, and she's got nice curves. Genetically, I think Scarlett hit the jackpot.
I've met her in the flesh before, and she still looks like a stick, but a slightly curvier stick than the other sticks out there.
All these curvy celebrities have actually got waists like this. They're much smaller than you think.
Recent weight loss led to fevered speculation about crash diets and marathon gym sessions as the actress prepared for the part of the Black Widow in Iron Man 2 earlier this year.
There were a lot of reports that Scarlett lost 14 pounds when she was making Iron Man 2. That was speculation, I'm sure, based on the way she looked. Scarlett spoke out and said, absolutely not. If I was going to lose 14 pounds, you'd have to cut off an arm. It's impossible for me. So maybe it was more like 6 or 7. But she definitely lost some weight for that part. She was spotted at the gym.
She's gone on the record and said she doesn't diet. Fingers crossed there might be one person in Hollywood that doesn't end up being a lollipop head.
So what is sexy? Ultra skinny or a hint of curvy? Scarlett Johansson has been voted sexiest woman alive, and her albeit Hollywood version of curves have led to endless men's mag articles in praise of her hot bod. Another reason for her elevated position in our charts of most talked about skinnies.
Being thin,